Hello everybody, and welcome back to a little bit of Let's Play Monaco Solo Pickpocket. Merry Christmas to everybody if you're not, if you're watching this the day I posted it, or at least recorded it, which is Christmas Day. Hope you all had an excellent holiday, and if you're watching it later, then I hope the nearest Christmas to you is one which either was or will be merry. That was a long time to say something that didn't matter much, so let's get rockin'. Last time, if you'll recall, we got our way all the way through the Discothèque Rouge, and this time we are attacking the Quartier Diamant. We just saved the redhead, and in order to feel better about what happened and to feel better about herself in general, she wants some dang diamonds, and what the lady wants, the lady gets. What can I say? We are a sucker for a redhead, and I mean that very literally. We are suckers. But let's not dwell on that too much, on that fairly obvious plot twist in the works. We are running around, and you can see the very first thing we did was pick up some dynamite. Dynamite is an amazing item. Probably, in fact, I would say almost unquestionably the best, because not only is it able to completely and permanently destroy physical security as well as like walls and stuff, it also is the only weapon item, anything like that, which permanently kills anyone caught in its blast. They don't become a skeleton. There's an unfortunate timing on that there, but you know what do you do. They don't become a skeleton. They aren't able to be revived later if you get hit in the blast of TNT, as opposed to, for instance, an RPG launcher. Then you're gone. You're incinerated. Game over, man. Game over. So the Quartier is good. It's a good test of the skills and abilities that we've got so far, because, as we can see, there's a lot of different stuff going on. We've got physical security in the form of those alarm doors that are up there that we are going to have to deal with, quote, somehow, unquote. And by quote, somehow, unquote, I mean I'm about to explode it. And there it goes. That opens up a nice little hole down there, and of course, you know, this game being what it is, we are going to get a new one of those for every 10 pennies. We've already got 4 of them. So you can see, if we put our mind to it, we can really do quite a lot of damage. Now, I was sorry to upset that guy, because, you know, every time I upset a guard, that's another little hidey hole time that I have to spend in the plant here, though the plant is very well positioned. Unfortunately, it was really unavoidable. Now, sometimes guards will alter their routes depending on where you blow up, or especially tunnel as the mole. I've noticed that more than once. Alright, this guy is going to get upset here momentarily, but hopefully we can be gone by that point. They're going to go over there to investigate, but we can be gone and out before that's of any concern to us. I don't think there's any more easily accessible suits, tuxedos, and even if there were, we would probably need them elsewhere. That's going to draw the guard at the security desk down here. Not that we really needed him to be out, but just lets us know that he's out of the way. I think it is the, that's going to be a troublesome one to get. I'll just have to see what I can do about it. Guards are, mercifully fairly unaware of what's going on kind of around them, as long as you're not in their direct line of sight. Now, this is going to be one that I'm going to want a little hack to speed me on my way. This is a level that I found really, you know, you benefit from experience in learning the actual mechanics of the game, because the first time you play through, it's easy to be intimidated by just the number of guards and the amount of physical security and stuff like that. But once you learn, you know, exactly what you can get away with, which is quite a lot. You know, I got spotted there, quote unquote. It's not too big of a deal, and you know, you're able to run around and evade a lot of security. Once you lose that fear of detection, then levels like this become quite a bit easier, which is nice. To do that, I wanted to get out of there, and I think that alarm door is another one that I'm going to be exploding when the time is right. There are just a few places in here that are darned inconvenient if you're not the the hacker. And this is one of them. So I'll set that to go. I'll simply be away from the blast area. Somebody noticed me, but that's not important.
Quoi?
Finish up my business over here. I think, you know, I could wait until I got a tuxedo or something, but I think I'm just gonna take the hit that he gives me there. Oh. Ah, beautiful. He didn't. Oh, he didn't quite see me. Well, that's all right. Assuming I can actually get away from him. The unfortunate thing about the scientists is their crossbow. I mean, it takes a really long time to load and shoot, but it does interrupt whatever action you're doing. Now, obviously, that's not as much of a problem if the scientist, doctor, I don't really know what those guys are or why they're around. It makes sense in the mental hospital, where they're, you know, supposed to be tranquilizing the patients and stuff like that. But here, they don't make quite as much sense. Anyway, they are obviously much more deadly if there's any other kind of security around. Because if you get interrupted in the middle of hiding, then obviously you are you're no good to anybody. Now, I think I'm going to want to break in the bottom here, and I do need to be very careful, because if I blow up the truck, then that's kind of my hide. I don't think this is going to blow up the truck, and I really hope it doesn't. There we go. Oh, stop your whining, everybody's fine. I am going to see if I can appropriate this man's key. Kind of a delicate maneuver there. Fortunately, I've got that quick shrub diving to aid me. This allows me an excellent backdoor. This is the kind of thing the mole would have definitely been handling if he was still around. There we go. And I've got a tuxedo for me when I need it. Yeah, you can see that this is an excellent mole hole back here. Just one of the many places where I miss having the big lug. And there's no reason not to use all those pennies we've been accumulating. Now you can see he's checking out the area, but fortunately we have this little baffle, as I've taken to calling them up here, which allows us basically safe entrance. Unfortunately, this is sort of becoming the appropriated patrol route of that man in black. I said before that they will absolutely adjust their patrol routes to account for holes that have been made by the mole or explosives, so that is something you need to keep your eye on. This is sort of a lateral thinking kind of procedure that you can really pull off in this level. You know, I mean, it's like it's troublesome to find your way in. Excuse me, but you know, just blow your way in the back and everything will be fine. If you're playing a single player, this is a bit less important than it is in multiplayer. But one of the big advantages of hacks in single player is when they take over cameras, they give you a wider field of view to see what else is going on. That might have been troublesome. How hurt am I? Oh, barely at all. I'm not going to waste a health pack on this. I am going to waste a, well, not waste, I am going to use judiciously a tuxedo. Letting myself get up and around here and steal all these pennies. This open floor plan makes this a little troublesome. Honestly, though, all the tuxedo is doing for me in this particular level is speeding up what would otherwise be a number of quick little jaunts. You know, I would go out and steal a few, and then somebody would get alerted, and I'd have to run and hide, and etc., etc., etc. Yeah, it really breaks home how valuable all this stuff is that we must be taking if, like, an entire display case worth of jewelry only amounts to one of the penny units, whatever that actually is. Yet another time when Hector's great, I would not want to have to navigate up there. Oh, I've been spotted, but I'll wait until whoever it is going to go up there. If they see me, I can always, you know, run up the ladder or whatever. But I think if they just take the normal route up, here we can see the exclamation point has gone away. This guy might see me. Yeah, he's onto me. Alright, nothing for it. Gonna have to book it up the ladder. These are just the unfortunate truths. One thing that I like about this game, and you know, however they've managed to set it up, is there are an awful lot of like last-minute little escapes and things like that. I've gotten away with a single point of health. Well, I think I basically did that in the last time we played. I got away with like a single unit of health there. Alright. Handle that, and that is the very last penny from this area. So now, I've got to tackle the underground.
Hey, vous là-bas.
And I find, actually, I think the top tends to be a bit more challenging than the underground, at least for me. So that's the hardest part of the Quartier Diamant tackled. Do I have any? I do not have any keys left. So depending on where this guy go, oh, he's gonna go up there, isn't he? Well, that's all right. And you bet when it comes to this big secure areas and everything like that, you bet your brigands we are going to be using a lot of. I'm just gonna wait here. I try to be kind of halfway up the ladder in case anybody comes around the corner. And with any luck, that knocked out both the safe and some of the security. Maybe not, but that's alright. It at least knocked out the safe. And that's kind of what the important part is. There's a key for me. I think I may need to blow out the other end of that thing too to get the trophy there, but that's not too challenging. I really like, one of the things that I think this game does especially well is how the, excuse me, I'm having a bit of slowdown there. Alright. One of the things that the game does especially well, in my estimation, is how it makes the music match the mood of what's going on. I'm even talking about little moments where, where you're found and you get away, or you're suddenly detected. The music really adds a lot of emotional heft to that. Alright, I am going to go up the stairs here and just take a second and find out what's causing the slowdown, and I'll be back in just a second. Hello everybody, I'm back. I hope that the slowdown has been stopped there. I think an antivirus program is running or something silly like that, but that's not our concern right now. Our only concern is getting into this tuxedo. I was talking a bit about the oh, that worked out for the best. Did make me waste most of the tuxedo there, but fortunately he didn't suspect a man who was in the center of an alarmed area, even after everything else might have led him to suspect us, because we had the proper attire, which just goes to show the essential value of dress when it comes to thieving and such acts. I did manage to just watch Die Hard today as sort of a Christmas tradition, so it's hard for me not to think of speaking in a vaguely Nordic accent as I carry out my various crimes and plots. There we go. My calling card there. You see just how damaging that MIB was. I managed to do a lot of damage to me. I've only got 7 pennies left to get. I probably should have just waltzed in there, casually, and left some TNT for them all to just chew on. 3-4 is, of course, some TNT, suggesting as they are that you may want to make use of it in your game, by which I mean you absolutely 100% want to make use of it. What are you doing not using it? It's so good. I was hoping to get that MIB. I don't think I did, but then I don't think it matters at this point. Frankly, a bit of sloppy work there at the end, but that's alright. Let's pop down here, and hey, there's 3 pennies. That's looking good. We are cleaned out, ladies and gentlemen. And I think that's going to be that for the Quartier Diamant. We might be feeling fairly big on our britches at this point in time, but do remember that this is the first campaign where life is great and things are easy. So let's just hike ourselves up in this old truck. Away we rush. Very nice. Alright, time for the art gallery. This is can be an especially pernicious run. It's kind of neat for me to look at the daily bests, see how people are running it in particular. Now, I could take the TNT again, and part of me wants to. Man, the wrench is just so nice. It's hard for me always not to take it. It's useful in every situation. Whereas TNT has its, Useless, certainly. I mean, it helps you mine and tunnel and just does all sorts of things. But it's never quite so fine as having a wrench, I find. And notice there's a little hidden entryway this way. And as always, Hector is our constant companion, pickpocket extraordinaire, meaning that that part of the thing is no danger or hazard to us. I don't think, incidentally, that golly, that was close. I think that MIB could have seen us if we had been just a little, things had gone a little differently. I don't think a wrench will help with a door that needs a key. I think you must, in fact, have the key to open those, but that's fine. The keys are trotting around, and we'll get them all eventually. And in the meantime, this place is the pickpocket's playground. Anytime that things just look downright inconvenient to get to, except for that dang trophy there, I'm gonna have to interrupt some people. Actually, let me see if I can't snarf myself a key here. Thank you, sir. Now, imagine being in an art gallery, and you go in to see one of the famous works, and you're, maybe contemplating it or whatever, and then all of a sudden it crunches this hobo and snags it with this monkey, and off he dashes. I'm making use of one of the finer points here, which is that civilians won't actually call you out as having jumped into a bush. As far as they're concerned, as soon as you're out of sight, you are out of mind. Now, obviously, we alerted everybody and their uncle. I kind of like how the white security guards with just wrenches or whatever those things are kind of have these like bad, greasy haircuts. It's sort of a funny image to me. Anyway, as soon as you're out of sight, as I said, you are out of mind. So these are permanent lasers, which is obviously trouble. Wasn't counting on that. This is just part of what makes the game interesting. You can see why... Oh, alright, you can see why I like the wrench in 2 easy steps right there. First off, it got me through that alarm door where I would have been held up too long to make it through on my own. And second, it got me up the ladder. I would not have made it up because, as I mentioned, there was a scientist behind me there. And he had interrupted me climbing the ladder. And that was going to give everybody else at least enough, let's say, time to finish me off. So that was some fairly close sailing there. Thanks, Hector, but we also need this pile of money. That was enough, fortunately, to get us another suit. Now, we may be tripping some more alarms when we go here. Note again that guards cannot, as far as I know, I don't think they can. Man, I'm hurting. I'm gonna get this here. Boy, I'm hurting. I don't think they can go through key doors unless you have unlocked them with the key. Even if the guard themselves hold the key, I don't think it's possible for them. I'm wondering if I should grab... You know what? I don't think so. I think what I'll do is move up here and wrench the safe. Even if I set off that alarm there, I had a full tuxedo, so I didn't need to worry about it. There's another full tuxedo there if I want it. And there's an EMP, which is a pretty nice item, but, well, as everybody knows, I'm just frankly kind of partial to my, oh golly. I'm kind of partial to my wrenches. Now I can get in that way. I'm just trying to see if there's any way out of this without using a wrench. I don't think that there actually is, unfortunately. Without using either a key or a wrench. I've got one key, and there's others around, so I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and use a key to escape this way. And I should get the next one before I advance up to the next level, because I think that there is going to be some extra key doors. In fact, I'm sure that there's going to be some extra key doors up there. The museum, incidentally, is by no means, I would say, like a walk-in-the-park, breezy, easy level. Unless, of course, you are using the gentle mole build. And then it's not, you know, it's not easy in that sense of the term. But gentle mole does smooth your way considerably. I don't think anything down here is actually attached to a shotgun, so I'm just going to take the hit to my tuxedo and make my escape. This is a bit what I mean by using your fear of setting off alarms and the like. I remember early on when I was playing the game, I'd look for just about any solution that didn't involve setting off alarms and tripwires and that, because, I'm thinking sort of realistically, where if an alarm is set off in a museum, then they're probably going to close the whole place down. Well, this is Monaco, and anything goes here. Is the idea? Alright, we have made our way to the second floor, and stolen every penny, and look at this. Fortune smiles upon us by giving us a bald man with a submachine gun and a special key. Excuse me, ma'am. I would think if I saw a man in a tuxedo jump in a bush with a monkey, I'd be suspicious, but maybe it's considered impolite to be too curious here in Monaco. And if it is, I say hurrah, because, I obviously don't resist much interrogation before people realize something funny's going on. That one wasn't too terribly hard to get, that trophy. That is going to be one of the easier ones. I was hoping to do that with only one wrench used, but, no harm, no foul. I've still got 3 left, and there's, 45 pennies on this floor, so I'll be getting more before the day is done. I do like that I still have my tuxedo. I like to hang on to them for as very late as possible. My goodness, there's a lot of guards in there. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, there's going to be something real nasty on the left-hand side of this level. By nasty, I mean a whole bunch of vaults, which are just pain in a half to break into. Oop, oop, ooh, security man. The problem with the abstract art room is that it is what I will call distressingly well patrolled. It seems like there's always somebody in and out of there. Oh, and it exploded my tuxedo getting away from him, but that's fine. I did. Look at that, I got the trophy, got all the pennies, and there's another tux right over there. My timing could not be better. Now this is maybe one place where I kind of wish I did have the TNT, although, again, I wouldn't have made it this far if I didn't have the wrench, so, we must be ungrateful. But the reason is because there's just an awful lot of breaking and entering to be done here. Where this guy thinks he's going, just wandering around. Good to know that there's a health kit down there in case we need it later for any reason, who can say. Yes, the Art Nouveau galleries. As you can see, 2 of them have a fairly simple structure. And I think as long as I keep ambling, I ought to be okay. If you remember the thief's motto, NSA for never stop ambling. But boy, I was right up against it with those lasers there. Now I'm definitely going to want to use the wrench. There we go. That got me that. I think my disguise might have exploded, unfortunately. And never mind me. There we go. He never minded me. And let me just... There we go. And this one is actually guarded by a guy, which is no good, of course. Because I think as soon as I set him off, anytime you set off an alarm, you can see all 3 of those doors there, and they all lock with a double lock, which takes forever to pick, of course. And so there may be another disguise I can use. So let me take a second while these MIBs have their time in the sun. And I'll walk back up here, almost setting off him, but not quite. Another thing that really helps the game along is kind of knowing what you can get. There's a tux and a computer, so I only have to use one wrench on this. It's kind of knowing what you can get away with, if that makes any sense. Just in terms of, I'm relatively sure, because of times I've done things like this before, that I can amble past these guards without completely alerting them. Now, look at that. That was beautiful. I think there only ought to be 1 trophy left, and it's right over there. And what do we got? 6 pennies. Those could easily be all in this area here, in this region. There's a man. Oh, look at that. My hack ran out, but it got me the last trophy and it got me the last penny. Very, very nice. So, barring any unbelievable mishaps, I think we can call this particular stage conquered. So let's just kind of sneak here. And one of the other nice things about wrenches is among the things they let you do instantly is commandeer cars at the very end. So even if we are kind of turkeying it on our way out, it's me in fact. And there we go. Got away without too much trouble at all. Now we've only got a few levels left. In fact, I think I'm going to tackle the Place du Palais, assuming that's how you say that. And hopefully I will conquer it, and that will be the last of this update. And then we'll see if I can't do the last two in the last update of the first campaign. Then we'll see. I'm gonna have to do a bit more legwork for the future campaigns because they're quite hard. I tried a few, and you know, they didn't go super well. No, so I don't want to, like, you know, waste everybody's time. Come on up here, come on, come on.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
Je crois qu'ils les ont filés. Oh gosh, I'm trying to get him to, you know, be around a bit. Actually, I take that back. I think I can just, yep, sneak up that way. Want his key is the main thing, but I don't want him to start shooting me. I think you all understand where I'm coming from with that that set of priorities. And I go over here immediately to the left and get out of everybody's eyesight. You might be wondering how much of this could I really pull off if I had no knowledge of the levels. And I grant you, things might go a little less smoothly. But really not terrifically. You know, once you know what you're looking for, the one thing I would say is there certainly would be more exploring. You know, I would be a little less cavalier about this part, because, for instance, I wouldn't know that there's a ladder right here that can spirit me away from all this trouble. But once you know what you can get away with, that's kind of that, and you learn to take advantage of it. Now, I could have used the key to get through that wine room there, but fortunately, no need. I wouldn't like to have to run in there, although it would have been possible, but you know, that's what Hector's for. Okay, what's everybody doing here? This is not a fun area if you don't like lasers. Let me level with you. You do not like lasers. Nobody does. Lasers are completely unlikable. Oh, Hector! Betrayed me. I may die. I may die. Yep, I did. Alright. We're going to try this one more time. What happened there was I was just about to grab everything, and then the only real unique disadvantage to being the pickpocket is Hector, your monkey buddy, can also open curtains. And so when he opened the curtain, it alerted all the guards all around. So let's see if I can quickly redo that bit that I just did there. Now that I know what I'm doing, there should be significantly less. The first time when I was kind of messing about, I was trying to bait him over, sort of like what's happening here, and then use these line-of-sight breaking pillars to lower his question mark status down to the point where I could pick his pocket for the key. Now, fortunately, I got the key again, but I didn't have to go through that. I'll just get up here and get out of everybody's way. Notice, by the way, that depending on what kind of guard you are, or, you know, a civilian or something like that, question marks do go down. They raise and lower at significantly different speeds. Now, here's a little difference. I don't think these guys had quite the same route as before. I don't know if we've seen the escorts, and so that's an MIB who is just permanently set on following a civilian. Now, the disadvantage to that is, this happens, by the way, if you're a cleaner in particular, I think, or if you shoot the civilian. If they turn into either a skeleton or an unconscious person, then whoever is escorting them will just kind of freeze by their body and become a permanent sentry, wherever that is. Well, not permanent, you know, permanent until they recover and move on their way. And depending on where they are, that can be mightily unfortunate. Whoa, whoa, whoa! No MIBs. MIBs are not.
Arrête-toi, voleur!
So where are you gonna go? Alright, as he slips away, we'll get in the bush down here. Thank goodness for the few bushes that there are. You may pick up that this dining hall is not my favorite room. It's not the worst. I mean, the patterns of the lasers are obviously quite predictable. The only thing that really throws a wrench into work are these randomly patrolling, I don't know if they're random or not, but they sure feel like it, randomly patrolling escorts. It's just, lady, where are you going? Why do you need an MIB after you all the time? You know, I don't know if you're that important. Alright, Hector, stay there. Don't ruin this for me, Hector. There we go. There we go. Oop, that's not what I wanted. This is what I want. I kind of got hung up on the geometry there, so that was a bit thrilling. On one of the chairs in the dining room area, but that's alright. Whew. I would have got caught there, but the line of sight breaking pillars blocked the laser, so that was a thrilling escape. And I like to think, now that you know that there actually is a sense of danger about this, maybe this will seem a bit more thrilling even yet to you in the future. Okay. No. This guy's gonna get alerted here in a second, but I don't much care because I'm out. And as soon as I see my gap, I'll go and try to make it to the second floor. Here you can see those two lasers there are hooked up to guns, so they don't mess around with just setting off an alarm. I don't know if they also set off an alarm. I don't see an alarm, so I think not. I think they just blast you. This is one place where the lookout is actually quite nice, just because she can vault up and down these stairs so quickly. Now here you see another lovely scenario. Getting these crown jewels isn't the greatest. Then it really makes a case for an EMP. I actually don't know if one's available. I'll tell you what else it makes a case for is Hector, because I don't have to stick my neck out anywhere near as much as I maybe would have had to otherwise. Okay. This laser is obviously could be more fun. Ah! Well, fortunately it didn't set off the alarm. I took a machine gun blast to the face, but all things considered that could have been much worse. Didn't really alert the guards. I have done that before where I managed to run the gauntlet taking no damage. Obviously the hacker is a prime choice for this level because he can get you out of having to deal with all that. And I'm actually going to hold off on getting that health pack there until I see what kind of hash I make of the chapel. The chapel is another fun room. Mole and gentlemen, well, I guess I could say they're good, but they're just always good, so just always count on me having that to say. Shoot. There we go. Ah, neat. Hurts. He saw me. Well, I do happen to know the location of a tuxedo over here. I forget exactly what even triggered me there. So probably something silly. Ah, there we go. Slip through there while he's otherwise occupied. And I'll take the key off of you. A lot of laser dodging in this bit here. Thank you, Hector. No. Do not want to get caught by that. And I might just... Oh, thank goodness. Whew, that was close. And I'm all penny down on the second floor. How am I doing health-wise? Could use a spot of a touch-up. So let's do that thing where we touch me up. This is in the first campaign, I think the most really thrilling level. The very last level of the first campaign is obviously quite hard too, and involves a lot of running and escaping from lots and lots of angry, high-powered guards. But just in terms of the setup, I think this is my favorite level, just because it's pretty bonkers. There's a lot of running and a lot of physical security. So again, hacker is a fine choice. You do have to be conscious of curtains, as mentioned by my compatriot, Ms. Bundefund. This is sort of embarrassingly unlike how actual lasers would work. Any interruption of the beam in this game causes them to be alerted. Oh, nerds, where are you going, buddy? Okay. I don't find, for whatever reason, this final floor of the house to be quite as deadly as the other two. Really, my worst... Whew. Hector. Killing me, my man. Really, my worst level is that dang dining room. And the reason is it's a big old open room.
Il y a quelqu'un ici?
Excuse me. You basically got one chance to run through it you know, unscathed and unnoticed. And if you don't, there's just a whole world of hurt for you. Now here, I have got a disguise, and I'm wanting to make the most that I possibly can of it. So there we go. Getting that from under his nose was a big boon for us. And I think the other side of this door, I'm not sure who. Oh, that guy sees me, obviously. Yes. Not only are there pennies, there is another disguise in here. So, kind of leapfrogging disguises. I guess that would be another reason. Without that disguise there, this area would obviously be much, much harder. So we are thankful for the small things. That cat is the same as all other cats in that if he's activated, he draws nearby guards. Unfortunately, there's some plants here. Demonstrating yet again the virtue of bringing along the wrench. That would have been much more awkward without a wrench in hand. Excuse me. There we go. I do like that I'm just wearing a dress, an evening dress. Okay, now I've got one solitary penny left somewhere in this floor. I don't know if I see where it is. It's probably one that I've left in my wake somewhere, but I am absolutely going to risk life and limb in pursuit of that penny. I leave no soldier behind. And by soldier, I mean chunk of cold hard cash. I.e. thing I care about much more than any actual soldiers. Those red footsteps, in case I never mentioned that before, are just very audible footsteps. Okay, so down we go, down we go. Where are you? Penny. I need to find you. And if it's a single penny, it could be something that I need to... Oh, there it is. Man, I don't know how I missed that before. Go, Hector. Go, get it for Daddy. There we go. Alright, now I'm out of this guy's way. Hopefully he will... I think I'm going to go back up the left side is how I'm going to approach getting out of here. I think that will actually end up being the easiest for me. Assuming this guy doesn't get clued into me. Not bad. A little hairy there, but then so was the entire rest of the level. So I'm not sure exactly what algorithm they use to mix and match all the different songs. I mean, some are obvious, you know, when you're spotted and everybody starts going after you, there's like a chase song that usually plays, but they play these fun little piano tunes at different times, you know, to really effectively display different emotions. Man, I'm having some slowdown here. I don't want to lose because of that. There we go. I've got so many wrenches left at this point. I don't see any reason not to just facilitate my escape almost exclusively with wrenches. And even though I don't need to, I'm not stopping ambling. You know it, son. Second time, not too bad. Look at that, new all-time rank, 276. Not bad at all. So that's all in a day's work for Pickpocket. You can see we're slowing down in levels, but that's because the levels are getting much harder. So next time, we've only got the Casino de Monte Carlo and the Hotel de Monaco. So we will tackle those next time. I will see you then.